so potty training has to do with like daytime and nighttime, but I think I want to focus on nighttime now, and then we can do another video another time that will shed more light or talk about daytime potty trainings. Hi, my name is Titi Med. I'm a board certified lactation consultant, and I want to use this page to share information about childbirth, breastfeeding, childcare, infant care, and all things baby and motherhood. Okay, and the first thing actually that I want to share, or what even prompted this conversation, is I was having a conversation with a mom. She was just telling me about how stressful her day usually is, and she has 3 kids. They're all under 10, and she casually mentioned how her 8-year-old wears diapers to bed. Yes, you actually heard that right. Her 8-year-old wears diapers to bed. And and like, no shade to her, and no shade to any other mom who's struggling with, an older child who still wets the bed, because I know that sometimes some things are out of your hands. Sometimes there's a lot going on. You're dealing with like tidying up, you're dealing with your job, you're dealing with taking care of them, you're dealing with thinking about all of their activities, all their extracurricular activities, school activities. The school wants you to show up for one thing or the other. There's like a million forms that you have to fill and send to school. Then you have to think about their food. You have to think about making sure that there's a variety in the food. You have to think about the fact that the nutrients are like, it's like a well-balanced diet, and they're not eating just carbs every day. There's like a ton of things, there are vitamins. There's like a million things that would always come to your mind, that will always occupy your mind as a parent and as a mom. But having a child who wears diapers at the age of 8, or pull-ups at this point at the age of 8 to bed, is something that I think that you really need to, every mom really needs to pay very, very specific attention to, just because as the child gets older, if the child doesn't learn now how to understand their body, get up and go when they need to pee, it's going to be a lot harder for them to learn when they're older. And the thing is, you don't want them going out, like being older, like teenagers or even young adults, and they're still wetting the bed, because it can be very embarrassing. And I'm sure you don't want that for your child. You don't want your child to have to go somewhere. You don't want to feel like you can't let your child go over to their grandparents' house for the weekend, or go to camp, or go to their cousins or whatever, because you're worried that they would wet the bed. So, what are the things that you can do? And again, I want to stress here that no shade, you guys. No shade at all. We all learn every day. Okay? We're learning every single day. We're learning. While this may be the challenge that somebody has, another person's challenge is trying to get her kids to eat vegetables. So like, we're all learning every day. We're all trying to just be the best mom that we can be, okay? So I'm just going to share a couple of tips on things that we can do to help with potty training, actually. And I'll focus. So potty training has to do with like daytime and nighttime, but I think I want to focus on nighttime now, and then we can do another video another time that will shed more light or talk about daytime potty trainings. Okay, so with nighttime potty training, first of all, there's a certain age by which you want to start nighttime potty training, and obviously way before 8 years old, maybe from like 2 or 3, from like 2 actually. And I think that even once the child learns how to walk and they have access to the bathroom, well, depending on if they're like sleeping in a crib or something, but yeah, from like 2, I think that it's a good time for you to be able to start learning or start teaching your child how to get up to use the washroom by themselves at night. So the very first thing that is so important is establishing a nighttime routine. Okay, and I would even say here that it's actually really important for kids to have a nighttime routine, because children are not as emotionally mature as adults are, and psychologically mature as adults are. And so it takes them some time to like regulate their body to be like, okay, it's time to settle down and sleep. It's time for me to like shut everything down and go to bed, And I'm sure that those of us who have very active children can testify that when they're supposed to be in bed and they are even in bed, but there's still a lot of activities going on in bed. You can hear noise, you can hear the screeching of the bed, you can hear so many things. But kids need to have a bedtime routine or a bedtime sequence. Not necessarily, the bath, they will, have a cup of hot chocolate or say a prayer or whatever. But in terms of the timing, it's so important. Whenever I tell people that my kids go to bed at 8 o'clock, they're always like, oh wow, how are you able to accomplish that? How are you able to do that? And all of that. And the thing is, number one, you just have to be firm about it. They don't go to bed at 8 o'clock like during the weekends or when they're on holiday, but when it's school week, when it's during the week, you have to go to bed by 8 o'clock. You have to be in bed by 8 o'clock, whether you're sleeping or not. That's not on me, but be in your bed. Everybody is in your bed, in their room, with their lights turned off at 8 p.m. Okay? So it's important for babies to have, or for children rather, to have that night routine and that night sequence. And so, for example, if your kids are going to be in bed by 8 o'clock, that means that so they would probably have had dinner by like 8:30, right? They would have had dinner by 8:30, or maybe at 7:30. They would have had dinner at 7:30, and if they've had dinner at 7:30, maybe they've done whatever activities they want to do between 7:30 and 8. They've brushed their teeth, they've taken a shower, they've said their prayers, or they've read a book, all of the things that they want to do. Then they get in bed. So having that routine or having that schedule is so important, because it helps you to time things. And then when you time things, when as a parent or as a mom you need to show up. So the most important thing here for this potty training is the fact that you actually have to be responsible about it. You as the parent, you as the adult in that relationship, you have to be responsible about it. Like, you can't expect your child to get up by themselves to go and pee when they are learning the process. Okay? You have to be responsible about it. You have to be the one to get up and then take them to go and pee. And thankfully, a number of us moms never go to bed early, right? We are awake usually till about 10 p.m., 11 p.m. So if your kid is in bed by 8 o'clock and they've had their last meal at 7:30, they've had their last meal and water by 7:30. So we're limiting water to meal time. That's last water for the day. Okay, so they've had that at 7:30. Then they go to bed at 8. Okay, so if you want to wake them up, if you're planning to wake them up, say 2 or 3 times before their morning wake up time. Okay, so they go to bed at 8 o'clock. When you're going to bed, so first of all, before they go to bed, they pee, right? When you're going to bed, say about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, you wake them up and you take them to pee. Okay, and then in that waking them up and taking them to pee is so important that you don't let them sleep pee, but actually sort of wake them up. Let them be alert, not like so alert that they're awake, but like let them be alert enough to know that they're actually going to the washroom to pee, right? You can walk with them, hold their hands so they don't bump into anything, stir them or direct them so they don't bump into anything. But tell them, hi honey, can you hear me? Listen, can you hear mommy? Sit down on the toilet and pee. Okay, we're going to be here until you pee. I need you to pee. Are you peeing? Have those conversations so that they're kind of alert. What you can also do is that when they're in the bathroom, you can turn on the faucet, turn on the tap, let the water run for a few seconds. So that sound of the running water actually just sort of engages them and makes them pee. That's also something that you can do. And then remember that we're trying to do it like 2 to 3 times through the night. So they've done it at 8 o'clock before they went to bed. Now they've done it at 11 p.m. before you went to bed, and then now you have to wake up just one more time to take them to pee. So let's say it would be like between 2 and 3 a.m. or between like 2 and 3 a.m. you wake them up and you take them to pee. Continue. Yeah, so between like 2 and 3 a.m. you wake them up and you take them to pee. And then whenever they're waking up for morning and waking up to go to school like 7 o'clock, they should be good. Now, when you're doing this, I have to say that for me, my best choice, my best option, or what I would do is to completely stop the diapers or completely stop the pull-ups. Because if they have the pull-up on and they feel like they need to pee, they will actually just go ahead and pee in the pull-up. They won't wait. They won't try to hold it in or try to hold it in till the next couple of minutes or even hours when you show up to take them to the washroom. But they will actually just go ahead and pee because they already have it on. So completely just stop the pull-ups. Take it off completely. What you can do as an alternative is to put like a bed pad, what's it called? There's like a bed pad that you can use for kids. It has like an absorbent pad, and then the other side of it is it's kind of like a nylon material, so that the pee doesn't like go into the mattress. It just stays on the pad. So you can have that kind of pad for the mattress, so that even if they do pee before you come, the bed is not going to be, the entire mattress is not going to be wet. But I would say completely just take off the pull-ups. Don't like keep it and wait and try to see and say, oh, if we leave it on, maybe they would I don't know, they would, just in case there's an accident. There's a higher chance of there being an accident if you keep the pull-ups on than when the pull-ups is actually off. And then also have a conversation with your child about this. Let them know that it's no longer okay. They have to be able to learn to get up. At least when your child is of a certain age and they can communicate, like an 8-year-old, have a conversation with them and let them know it's no longer acceptable. They can wake up, if they don't have any medical condition, they can wake up by themselves and go to the toilet and pee and use the washroom, right? And wash their hands and go back to bed. And it's perfectly normal and they can do it, okay? And you can do it as well. So now in terms of how you want to do it, I would say that start the first 2 weeks, say you wake them up to pee 3 times during the night, say another 2 weeks, and then you see how that is going, how they're responding and how they're reacting to that. And then the next 2 weeks you can go ahead and wake them up once to pee, and then you also watch that. And if you feel like they're struggling with that, if you feel like they're maybe peeing before you show up, that means that once is too short, maybe make it 2 times, right? And if you feel like in those 2 times they're still peeing before you show up, then you still need to go back to 3 times, okay? So you want to use their response to determine if you need to elongate the time frame between when you come back or make it shorter, okay? So, and then at some point, very importantly, is that before you completely stop going to wake them up, you go once, right? You just stand by their door, open the door, stand by their door, call them out, call their name, let them respond, okay? Tell them, hey buddy, okay, it's time for you to go pee. Tell them to get up, tell them to go to the washroom. You can walk behind them or you can just wait for them by the door. Ensure that they pee, ensure that they wash their hands, and then they go back to their bed and get in bed and sleep. So you're not holding their hand, you're not walking with them, you're not trying to convince them, you're not trying to cajole them, you're not trying to encourage them, you're just like giving an instruction. Hey guys, it's time to get up and go and pee, okay? You stand by their door, you watch them go and you watch them come back. And then when you do that for some time, then you can see how they're responding in terms of, are they peeing in between when you come, or are they not peeing? And then all of a sudden, so you stop, you take 1 day out. So if you would go every day, then all of a sudden 1 day you don't go, and then you see what happens. Do they actually get up by themselves to go, or do they like just completely stop and not even show up and not even do anything, okay? And if you feel like, oh, they went, or they didn't go and they went to bed, then you know that, okay, you still have to keep coming. And then if you find out that, oh, they actually went and they didn't went to bed, okay, that's fine. So you take one day off, but you go, maybe you start to go every other day, and then you just gradually reduce it until you're completely not going to take them to pee. But it's going to be a lot of responsibilities. It's going to be a lot of you waking up at night to do it, and I know that it's hard, but I think that when you get up to go pee, just go wake them up to go pee. Because I'm sure that you get up to go pee probably once or twice at night. So when you get up to go pee, just go get them up to go pee as well. I hope this has made a lot of sense, and I hope that you've been able to learn something very important from this. I will encourage you to like this video and subscribe, and also share with your friends who are moms or who are about to be moms. I will be sharing a lot more content on breastfeeding, on childcare, on parenting, just things that can help us, and my experiences or things that I see that will be important for us to talk about, so that we can learn the proper way to raise children. We want to be able to raise wholesome, strong, responsible, kind children, okay? So that our children will not be the people that will be causing havoc and, being a lot of problems when they become adults, okay? Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.